I think there's another really interesting sort of subtle thing here with this. And this is going back to sort of the principles of DORA. We investigate those capabilities to help teams find their bottleneck. So I just told you, faster code reviews means 50% better software delivery performance. Guess what? If your code reviews are already fast, making them faster might not help. It's those slow code reviews. So you've really got to find that bottleneck.
So if I'm going to benchmark my code reviews, I'll shout out here. Linear has its own benchmarks. If you want to look at some quantitative data, we've done that in our 2023 engineering metrics benchmarks.
Sure.
But what would be the approach you would take as you're saying, okay, like how do you determine if this is a fast code review or not?
Yeah, it's a really good question. And I think there's kind of two or three things that you want to look at. First, I want to understand, how does my code review time look over time?
Right.
Like, what is a trend of that? Is it taking longer and longer for code reviews to happen, or is it happening faster over time? I might even want to talk about sentiment of people on the team. Hey, are you happy with the amount of code reviews that you have to do? Or are you happy with the amount of time it takes to get your code reviews? We talked earlier about work distribution. Hey, who's doing the code reviews on your team? Is there an undue or an uneven balance of this particular person or this particular group of people have to do all of the code reviews?
Right.
So we're putting an undue burden on them. I think all of those things are interesting to look at. And then the thing that I would really look at is, as you look at those software delivery metrics, maybe you see your change lead time trending up, like in that example from earlier. Maybe it's code reviews. Let's at least look at how long does a code review take. And part of that process might also be, how many handoffs do we have in a code review process? How many back and forths do we have? And I think there's something really interesting there with this new thing that we looked at this year. That we don't really have strong signals, but there may be something there. That new thing that we looked at, I don't know if you've heard of it, artificial intelligence.
Oh, yeah. What's that?
Yeah. So we looked at some AI stuff this year, of course. And because, it's on everyone's mind right now, AI. So unfortunately, it's also so new. We don't have good ways to ask questions yet about AI. Like, we're still all
how do you quantify
learning together. Yeah. How do you quantify it? Exactly. So the thing that we did do was we said, hey, for the primary application or service that you work on today, what is the importance of the role of AI in a series of tasks? And we laid out a bunch of tasks like, generating code, writing documentation, analyzing logs, incident response. And you could basically use a slider to say that it's not at all important or it's super important to this thing today. What we saw was that about 50% or so of our respondents were using AI in some way across one or more of those tasks. What we didn't see yet, though, was that that's actually contributing to organizational performance. So in other words, we see teams that are starting to use it, but not dramatic impacts on overall performance. One thing that we did see, though, was the well-being of the people on those teams was lifted slightly.